Hi, this is Jeff Muchmore with Echo RM, and today we're going to talk about invoicing in Echo RM. We'll start off by creating a quick appointment and walking that through for you to an invoice. So we'll say that we went in for a monthly AC service, and as our technician got into this service, and we're just going to buzz through this piece very quickly, they noticed that the unit was leaking, needed a new check valve, needed a few units of coolant, and so we could have done some of that over on the service itself, but because we're talking about invoicing today, I'm going to go ahead and show it to you on the invoice. So we generated an invoice, and now we're here. This monthly AC maintenance is a partially taxed service item. We indicated back in settings, and this is handled in another video, as is the signature line, whether you want that on or off, and some of the other items on this page, such as this verbiage down at the bottom, is all handled in the settings video. But this unit is partially taxed, set up to tax at $10, and that's why you'll notice that tax rate of 6.75% calculates out to 68 cents in tax. And we have our service. You'll see that indented under the service are the items that belong to this service, and we're going to go ahead and say that they had that we installed that check valve for them. That was a $28 check valve. It was one. We're going to add that item, and we're going to say that we added 10 units of coolant at a cost of $2.50 per unit, and so that comes out to $25. We also have the ability, that's the search feature based on either we've got the list and the search feature of our items, and you saw the type ahead there. For example, as I started typing coolant, it came up. You can also click this toggle button here, and if you needed to write in a separate unit, so this was X55 piping, we'll just say, and wasn't very expensive, 1 unit of it, and indicating here that it's taxable, we'll go ahead and add that on there. So you can actually add write-in units on the fly on Echo RM invoices as well. And you saw it down here, the tax rate. For example, we had set up our universal tax rate was 6.75, but perhaps you're in an area where tax is done by locality or county, and you're doing business and you arrive at this location that ends up being a 7% tax rate. You can actually adjust that on the fly. Click the checkbox there, and your tax will be adjusted from the $5.06 to $5.25. Say you were going to give a discount, you have the ability to add a discount here. We're going to add say a $10 discount. Go ahead and apply that, and that tax that is equally applied out against every item on this unit. So you'll see that the tax is reduced there, and that's what the small red numbers mean, is what the applied discount was to that particular line item. So now if we get down here to the bottom, you would hand the customer ideally your phone or a tablet for them to go ahead and sign off. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off, and when the technician captures this signature, the invoice is set final, and the technician, assuming that they have a user level and not an administrative level permission, will no longer be able to add items to the invoice. And adding anything, even if it's set back to an open status of an invoice by an administrator, is going to require another customer's signature. So once the customer has signed the invoice, they've signed off on things that all they can expect to pay for. We can't have them sign off and then start adding additional items to that invoice. So you'll see up top the invoice is now indicated as finalized. A couple of other options that the tech could close the invoice and get a signature after that, depending on your business process. But a couple of other options here. If the tech accepts payment on the spot, for example, perhaps they got paid by a check, you click the paid button, and now we open up the payment information section. So the date is pre-populated there. The assumption is that it's paid in whole. If it's not paid in whole, it's going to be moved into a partial payment status. And then let's say we just add the check number 1234, go ahead and submit it. Now we're going to mark that as set paid status, and you'll see that we've got a paid watermark on it, and we've got the payment summary, which is indicated down here on the left hand side. And when we go back to the invoice list, you'll see that this invoice has been paid as well. Last but not least, we want to provide the customer a copy of this invoice, so we would go ahead and we can either, if we've got mobile printers, we can go ahead and print this, give you a nice print version with your logo that you added in the settings section as well, or we can go ahead and email the customer the invoice. Again, the text that originally and initially comes here is also handled in the settings section, but let's just say I'll email this to myself, and the tech could make some changes on the fly, and I'll just say thanks, Jeff, and then go ahead and send this invoice. And there's the invoice with my change there, the thanks, Jeff. And if I go ahead and click that invoice link, you'll see that it actually links me to a version of the invoice that the customer themselves can see and print, including that beautiful signature down on the bottom of the invoice. As far as administrative items, let's go back and take a look at this from the administrative standpoint. If the administrator comes into Echo RM and wants to take a look at invoices, here is our list of invoices. You could show the invoices. You could see their statuses. These are open, finalized, paid in full. If we had accepted partial payments of one, there would be a partial payment. You've got a summary at the top of the open invoices, the finalized invoices, the paid invoices. And so if we take a look at the invoice that we just completed with Mark Mueller, we have the options, the administrator has the options to go ahead and set that back as open, set as final, or set canceled. So the administrator does have, or email the invoice directly from here. So the administrator does have a few extra options at his or her disposal that the technician and the end user doesn't. And that is the basics of invoicing and Echo Relationship Management. We hope you enjoyed this presentation, and we're going to continue to add additional training and informational videos about Echo RM online. Please feel free to contact us either by our web submission form or calling us directly if you have any questions at all. And have a fantastic day.